Hey, internet friend, this is MagicBrad on the MagicBrad Show, and we've got a treat for you today. But before we get into that, if you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe because that helps me. And if you help me, I can help you. And also, if you give a thumbs up to this video, and if you want to see more of my videos, there's that little bell icon. You could ring that little bell, and then you get notifications about future videos coming up. So, we've got someone on today. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that I use to stay in touch with people, that banner season program. But we've got a guy that's been in the real estate world, and this system that we're using is very good for realtors because it kind of puts your customer relationship on autopilot, and it really shows people how you care by giving them, well, let me just bring him on. We'll explain it. His name is Jim McCord, and let's bring him on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries. Nice round of applause for our friend Jim. Hey, Jim McCord, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Brad?
I am well. Now, just so people know, you're over on the east side of the world, right?
A little bit. Midwest, northern Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not on the coast, but you're east of the central time zone. You're on the eastern time zone, right?
Exactly. We are in the eastern time zone, yeah.
Did you know that Florida has part of the central time zone?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That was pretty fascinating to me talking to somebody, and I thought Florida is that little peninsula thing goes out to the.
Yeah.
So, Jim, I want to talk a little bit about real estate because real estate is a fascinating thing to me. I'm not a realtor, but I like to do things that have longevity to them. And I've always said that we've been involved with real estate ever since we walked out of the cave. When the rain came down, we walked back in the cave because we always need shelter. So that's what I'm involved with REITs, but I've never really been a real estate agent or trying to sell people real estate. And I don't understand it all. I did buy a house, and that's a challenge for people that don't understand it.
Yep.
I did it. How long have you been in real estate?
1993. I got licensed in 1993, and I've been a full-time realtor ever since until about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, started coaching realtors part-time, and that went really well, and I really enjoy it. So although I'm still licensed, I no longer sell. Now I coach realtors nationwide.
When you say coaching, what do you coach them on?
Well, I coach them on a system. You know, real estate is it's kind of a really unique industry in that I can't think of another industry like it, actually, Brad. The statistics have been right around this same figure for all 27 years since 1993. That nationwide, 80%, 80+% of the newly licensed realtors this year in 2020 will be out of the industry within 2 or 3 years. And that was true 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's still true to this day. Most realtors, 80%, get out of the industry within a year or 2 or 3 because they're not making enough money.
That's fascinating.
No, I don't know any other industry like that. I really don't. Possibly network marketing is the only other industry I could think where there might be that kind of turnover. But you know, I tell agents I coach, and I tell new real estate agents. Matter of fact, I made a couple of videos about it on my YouTube page. So you're thinking about getting into real estate. If you get into this and you get into it full time, it's a phenomenal industry for those of us who will work full time, because 80% of the realtors are not making it. So there's not a lot of competition. You know, there's between 1 and 2 million realtors at any given time, but most of them are not working. That's what makes it a really good industry.
You know, there's that thing about inches from gold where do they quit too soon?
Yes, they do. I think, and I don't blame it actually on the realtors who get in and get out of the business. I really don't. I have always blamed it on the owners of the real estate companies and the managers, because they are not telling people who come into the office and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. What can you tell me?" Or I'm taking real estate classes now. I would like to get licensed with your company. And there are some exceptions, but not many. Almost every broker, including the nationwide Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, EXP, you name it, almost every broker will take anybody who passes the test. Now, they say they won't, but in reality, they do. And that's a real mistake. I just wish that, and I'm sure that there are some owners of companies out there, like small companies and mid-sized companies, and there are some managers that are telling the agents, look, this is not an easy industry. You got to get in and you have to prospect. You have to work 50, 60 hours a week your first couple of years to make it. And if you're not willing to do that, don't get in the industry.
You know, I kind of look at it because the reason I like the real estate industry is the buy cycle. They understand the mindset. They understand it takes time. A lot of people, unless you're like doing direct over the counter, direct sales, most business, most marketing, it takes time for things like my background's in the event industry. As an entertainer, I did magic full time in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. When you make contact with an event planner, it might be a while before you build that relationship and they trust you enough to stand on the stage in front of their audience. It takes time. So do you think that perhaps farmers would be good real estate agents because they understand when you plant the seed, you have to wait?
I don't know. And I don't necessarily look at it quite that way in real estate because there are realtors who jump in with both feet and prospect immediately from day one and prospect every day. And they make $150,000, $200,000 their first year because, there's all kinds of ways to get business. And most real estate agents want to work buyers because, a buyer's easy. In the old days, we put them in our car, drive around, show them houses. Nowadays, very few agents do that. Usually you meet the buyer. They follow you or they meet you at the house and you go house to house to house. But the buyer doesn't reject you. The buyer rejects the house. And you just keep showing them houses. And, that's what most realtors want to do. But the problem is, as a new realtor, you can't come up with enough buyers to make a living. So you have to get listings. And the only way to get listings is to prospect. And there are, like I said, there are agents. 27 years ago, I was rookie of the year for the company I started for. I had 32 closings my first year because I focused all of my marketing and all my prospecting on two different groups, for sale by owners and expired listings. Because those two groups of people want to sell and they want to sell right now. As opposed to what a lot of coaches, a lot of managers, a lot of real estate books tell agents to do, which is like prospect a neighborhood, farm a neighborhood. It's funny you mentioned farmers before, because it's called farming in our industry, where you pick like 300 to 700 homes and you mail to them monthly or quarterly. And that's called farming.
You use the term focus. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do is they go from prospective home buyer to prospective home buyer to prospective home buyer. They're not really focusing. Like, right. I want to start talking a little bit about this system that you're using, and you shared it, I believe, with our friend Bo Young, and Bo Young showed it to me. They tell a friend that they tell a friend. It's called Banner Season. Let me throw my little link up here because this is an affiliate type program. That's my little MagicBrad link right there. This thing called Banner Season, I think that helps a lot because I think you mentioned it and I saw someone else that mentioned it. And I started thinking myself, when I bought a house about 7 to 10 years ago, that agent never stayed in touch with me. I'm not going to buy another house from him because he doesn't know who I am.
Yeah. I get that. I can share a couple things with you. Like, when someone buys a house from me, when they bought a house from me, they would get, and this is a very specific example. They bought this home from me, and it was a husband and wife. So I put a photo of the home on the front of the card. And on that particular one, I put "Love Your New Home." And the inside was my, their name and my thank you message. And then on the back. So I designed these 4 panels. And because that's their home, they're not going to throw that away, at least not for a long time. And I don't print this out. I just design these 4 panels and then I hit send. And Banner Season sends these out. And the cost for this is either $1.99 or 50 cents, depending how you join. And either way, even $1.99 is dirt cheap for something like this. But,
especially when you're talking about a high ticket item like a house.
Well, and then along with this card, they received 2 of these mugs. with a photo of their house on it, And
Oh,
that
no. Yeah.
photo may look dark there, but it's not. It's a really high quality photo, but I think just the lighting in my office here is making
Yeah, I
it.
can see it. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, they're not gonna throw these away. And then here's another one, couple, and I don't have the card with this one, but another couple bought this home, and this one I made the photo of the house, the full wrap of the mug. And I sent them 2 of these because, again, it was a husband and wife. Now, what a lot of agents do, and like Bo's in the insurance industry, and this banner season is good for anybody in sales, really. But what a lot of salespeople will do is when they send something like this, they might put a photo mug on half a photo of the house on half the mug, but on the other half, they're going to put like Jim McCord, Keller Williams. That's what most real estate agents do. And in my mind, that's a huge mistake because when they have 2 mugs with a photo of their house, they're likely to keep those out and use those.
Yeah, and they'll know who gave it to them.
Yeah, if it has my mug on the mug, they're probably not going to keep that out and use those.
I remember getting these, like I do trade show work, and you end up getting these little pens and tchotchkes and stuff. And I used to take an X-Acto knife and scratch their stuff off of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, it's just been such a standard in all industries for so long to buy those promotional items in bulk. And that's what everybody has done for as long as I can remember. And they still do that.
Well, here's something that Bo sent me.
We can do the one-off products.
Bo sent me this business card holder. It's a little miniature briefcase, so you can put your business cards in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then he put the logo of my MagicBrad show on there.
Exactly.
So I appreciate it because it's got me on it instead of him, and I know who gave it to me. It was Bo.
Exactly. And he only did one of those. He could do that, only one.
Right. Yeah. When back in the day when we used to do that stuff, there's minimum orders, and it goes up in price when it's small amounts. You have to buy tens of thousands, and minimums were usually about 500. Yeah. This is one off. And he also showed me that you can print merge this stuff. So if you wanted to do these things to different people, you could print merge people's names on these things, right?
Yes, you can. Like this is a postcard that I created for renters. Just to turn renters into buyers. So that's the front of the card. And then on the back, actually, the client I did this with, the agent mailed 308 of these out. But as opposed to having the name up there, it didn't have that name. It had a merge field. It had bracket, first name. And that way you can mail to 300, 500, 1,000 people the same card, but it's going to be customized with their name.
Right.
And you can put that merge field on both sides.
And you can do that with the gifts and things too, right? With the coffee mug.
Yeah. And there's 2 things. There's people that use it for bulk mailings like that, and it truly is phenomenal. But I personally use it more for custom mailings, like I showed you with this. I personalize each one. That's the way I like to use it. There's benefits for both, but you asked earlier how I would recommend to get business. I told you I always went after, and I coach agents now to go after for sale by owners and expireds. And these for sale by owners and expired homeowners, they're getting phone call. If they got a for sale by owner sign in the yard, they're getting 5, 10, 20 calls a day, every day from different realtors. Trying to meet with them.
Forgive me for my ignorance, but you said expired homeowners. Does that mean deceased homeowners?
No, expired or for sale by owner. You know what a for sale by owner is? It's a homeowner's trying to...
I know that, but the expired one caught me off.
An expired homeowner is a house that was previously listed and it expired. It's no longer on the market. And when it expires, then it's up for grabs. So then another real estate agent can go after it.
Okay.
So anyway, let's say it's for sale by owner. Let's say this is your house. This was one in Florida. This was actually an expired, but you have the option of putting, and this is not the card, this is the envelope.
Oh, that's the envelope, sure.
Yeah, you can design the envelope as well. So it's got return address, and then, first class stamp. And these do all go first class. And then when they open it up, there's another photo of their house. Your listing is expired. Are you satisfied with your previous realtor? And then, your message on the inside and then the back. Well, when that homeowner gets this in the mail, they've never got an envelope with a photo of their house on it before.
Right.
Much less when they open it, a card with a photo of their house. So all the other realtors who are trying to get that same appointment, that listing appointment, they're all sending company information, about Banker, Remax, Keller Williams, whatever, EXP. And then from me, they get, an envelope with a photo of their house on it. And then, and it's not just for thank you gifts, for houses that I really want to get the listing on. Like this was over $1 million expired listing. So it was listed by another company, another agent, and it expired. And I drove by and I took that photo. Your listing is expired. Are you still interested in selling? My information on the inside.
Wow.
Yep. And along with this, instead of just the card, they got a mug with a photo of their house.
Oh, the house that they're selling?
Yes. And a lot of people will say, well, Jim, they're selling that house. Why do they care about a mug?
Keepsake.
They lived in that house for years. This is a great keepsake for them.
Yeah.
But when they get this box with a custom card, photo of their house on the mug, they're thinking, who did that? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, and that's what makes it work.
As I'm a digital marketer in the event world, but now the online thing, and a lot of times we're looking at email open rates, and they're way, way, way down nowadays. Sometimes not even delivered. But the USPS and priority mail, that usually gets delivered, and
Right.
the card that has your house on it, it's going to get opened.
Exactly.
And I would say it's probably a 99% open rate. And I'll bet packages, because you also send the coffee mug comes in packages.
Exactly.
That's probably 100% open.
There's brownies, there's water bottles, there's truffles, there's different types of candy, and there's a couple dozen different items that you can personalize. And anytime anybody gets a box, I'm not going to say anybody, but the majority, I know me. When I go and check our mail, if I got 8 pieces of mail in the box, and the box is addressed to Jim McCord, I'm going to open the box first every time. Unless I happen to see, one of the pieces of mail is a check or something.
I just got a package from one of the people that RPG Coffee.
Yeah.
He's a local guy here that started that business, and he sent me a package, and I was actually opening it up on the way home, on the way back, before I got into the house.
I actually got one of those myself here. I thought I had in reach, but maybe not. I didn't realize you were going to bring that up. But I know I have it in my office here somewhere. Good stuff.
Well, that's pretty fascinating. I try and keep these videos that I do kind of short so people can consume the whole thing, because I've been through some of those 3 and 4 hour webinars and they get to be overwhelming. So I'm going to close this one off. Is there anything else that you could maybe share with us? And
yeah, the other thing I'd like to share, because I shared the greeting cards, but there's also 8.5 by 11. They're called gigagrams, where you design the envelope and the card. So, and you got the 5 by 7 greeting cards that I shared with you before, like this, that you can customize any way you'd like. And you've got these large cards, very big cards. I mean, look how big that is.
for sure.
Very heavy stock where you design the envelope. And then there's also 3 different postcard sizes. You got your 4 by 6 postcards. And believe this or not, now a lot of people find this hard to believe, but when someone joins as a gold member, you can send these unlimited free. You pay postage only.
That's what I'm doing.
Unlimited. It's crazy. Now, when people hear that, they think, oh, that's not true. It's a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. It's been going on for like 9 months since they started it, and the company's going to keep it. But anyway, the 4 by 6 are unlimited free. You pay 37 cents postage. And then there's also a larger one, 5 by 8.5, and there is a much larger postcard too, because some salespeople like the bigger postcards.
And that's pretty quality stuff where they could actually, that's frameable. They could take that, they could frame it and put it in the hallway.
Exactly, and dozens of gifts. And keep in mind, it's one-off. You can customize dozens of things, and that's what sets it apart.
Yeah, Bo also sent me these coasters.
Ah,
The
I
coffee
love the
mug.
coasters.
You put my logo on the coasters. So that's kind of a nice thing to have too.
Yeah, I love the coasters. The other thing I'll just throw out for anybody who has an interest, it sounds like you've taken advantage of it, Brad, but a lot of people haven't, is the mailing list. You can, as a gold member, you can build a mailing list and build your own, design your own custom mailing list within banner season. And then you can buy those names for $9 a thousand or $9 a hundred. $9.95, 100, and then that drops those names and those addresses, the custom list that you picked, into your address book, and then you can send them postcards free. I mean, it's crazy good.
Right.
Really is.
I did take advantage of it, and I'm still amazed by how you can narrow down pet owners and go for male or female. You can go into SIC codes, and you can do individuals or businesses.
Exactly.
Geographic targeting. It's pretty fascinating if you want to just go for a certain community or zip code area, or if you want to do a radius around a certain city or address. It's very cool. I love that kind of stuff as a marketer.
I've been around 27 years. Well, I've been around a lot longer now. I'm 63, but I've been in the real estate business 27 years. And I would say I've tried just about everything that's come on the market in 27 years. And there's not even a close second marketing product to banner season. And what blows me away about this is why Keller Williams or Remax or Coldwell Banker hasn't gotten into this themselves. I have no idea. But those huge conglomerate companies have nothing that can touch banner season for their agents, which is great for those of us who use it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it, but there's a thing in there so that you can send a link to someone to have them fill out an address. And when they fill out the address, it automatically triggers a campaign. So you can just send somebody a link and let them do all the work for you.
Exactly.
Pretty cool. It's very, very cool. I'm very, very happy with it. Well, Jim, I really, really, really appreciate you taking some time to be with me and with us today. This has been fascinating. And when other ideas pop into our head, we can share that further. I'm going to put you in the green room and close this off. If you want to stick around for a little bit, I'd love to have a little chat with you after the show closes.
I'll do it. Thanks for having me on, Brad.
Appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, that was our friend Jim McCord. He's been doing this for a while. He said he's 63 and I'm 63. So that's why we resonate so much. It's not like that those millennials where they're texting everything these days. It's a new world. We're going kind of back in time and we're doing physical cards. It's a new world coming back. What's old is new again. So thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time. Be well, be safe, be good. Thanks. Bye.